Yo, what is going on, guys? So the Switch 2 reveal was a few days ago at this point, and the reactions started off very positive, but then a lot of news came out about Nintendo's anti-consumer practices, and the reaction turned not so positive. And obviously, any criticism or negative news about Nintendo is going to upset everyone's favorite group of people on the internet. Fanboys.
I am not playing my gaming PC because it simply isn't as good as my Nintendo consoles.
Now keep in mind, if you enjoy Nintendo's games, that doesn't really make you a fanboy, that's just like a regular fan. When I say fanboy, I'm talking about like the extremist people. But today we're just gonna go on Twitter, which is already a recipe for brain damage, and take a look at what some salty Nintendo fanboys have to say to defend Nintendo's anti-consumer practices. Let's get into this shit. Emphasis on the shit. So, some Switch 2 games cost more money for physical copies and digital copies, which you'd think everyone would be against, right? Why should I have to pay more? Well, this guy is actually happy that he gets to pay more money for Switch 2 games. I actually like that Switch 2 games are 90 euros. It means I won't have to play online with poor people. God forbid you have to play an online video game with someone who doesn't have that much money. Like seriously, who cares? Who cares how much money someone else on the internet has? This is some pocket watcher type shit. Imagine getting joy over the fact that other people can't afford something. Tired of all the double standards lately. A soy jack raging over a $450 console and a $70 Donkey Kong game, and a soy jack smiling over a $700 console and a $70 remaster of a PS3 movie game. Yeah, this is just fucking false. Everybody shat on the PS5 Pro when it came out, and everybody shits on Naughty Dog when they remaster The Last of Us for the 56th time. This guy is either stupid or lives under a rock, or maybe both. Nintendo went live today to show off their Switch 2 games. The comments were flooded the entire time with "Drop the price." Someone replies, "SNES games cost $180 in today's money. People need to chill." Yeah, but back when the SNES came out, you could support an entire family off of a minimum wage job. Nowadays, 2 jobs might not even get you a 1-bedroom apartment in some areas. I knew motherfuckers working 2 jobs that could barely get by, and you think they're gonna drop 90 bucks on a video game? Get that shit out of here. So Joe from Seattle tweets out, "Just gonna leave this here," and a picture of the Steam Deck and its price. Now personally, I'd compare it to the ROG Ally, because the ROG Ally has the same screen resolution and the same refresh rate as the Nintendo Switch 2. Tobo here replies, "Too bad it can't run majority of Switch games at 60 frames a second. I mean, that's fucking ironic because the Nintendo Switch can't even run its own games at 60 frames a second in most cases. I remember Tears of the Kingdom, whenever you'd pull out like the little abilities, I can't remember what they're called, dude. That shit would drop into the teens. Now, this post right here, well, it's not really a post, it's a reply, has to be one of the funniest things that I have seen all day, dude. This guy straight up lost his shit. So the post starts off with Caleb here saying, "Microsoft is committing Sudoku, Nintendo's greed is cannibalizing what goodwill they had accrued, all Sony has to do right now is release games and, oh. Never mind. This really upset the Nintendo toddler. The Nintoddler? That's a good nickname. I like that. Nintoddler. But the Nintoddler over here left a whole ass novel as a reply. Tell me where Nintendo is being greedy. I mean, dude, there's only 24 hours in a day. Whilst at it, please explain their entire business process, their expenses, taxes, etc. The cost of development of MKW, the Switch 2, the costs of delivering to retail, and on and on. Next, take into inflation. Then explain in your words, is that even fucking English? How you'd run Nintendo better whilst ensuring continued profit so more game can be developed, employees are retained, and the next console can be developed. At I find There's a lot of retarded people in these Nintendo threads as of late. great source of content. This guy's acting like Nintendo's about to starve on the streets and go out of business if they don't overprice Mario Kart World. I guarantee you Red Dead Redemption 2 probably costed a lot more to make than Mario Kart World. And guess what? They didn't have to overprice Red Dead 2. Dan replies, no Nintendo games on this. Well, unfortunately for you, there's actually more Nintendo games available to be played on the Steam Deck than the Switch, thanks to emulation. Another guy replies, it doesn't have a dock. There is a dock you can buy for the Steam Deck. Display is 1280 by 800 with no HDR and no 120 FPS. Fair enough. It doesn't run Nintendo exclusives such as Tears of the Kingdom. Incorrect. You can emulate Tears of the Kingdom. Just gonna leave this here. It's so funny, these people who say that you can't play Nintendo games on the Steam Deck, they have no clue what they're talking about. They literally think in order to play a Nintendo game, Nintendo has to officially release it on Steam. That's not the case. Anything that can be emulated can be played on the Steam Deck because the Steam Deck is basically just a laptop. And before you try to use the argument of Yuzu takedowns, archives exist. Someone else replies, sweet. Just let me know when I can legally play the new Zelda and Mario Kart game on a Steam Deck. K. There seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere. I mean, that's ironic considering you can legally play them right now if you just redump your games. Just another classic example of a Nintendo fanboy thinking emulation is illegal despite the fact that he probably pays for an emulator with Nintendo Switch Online. You just gotta love it, man. Someone else replies, no one gives a shit. No one has made quality games besides Nintendo besides like 3 to 4 game companies. Ass games on the Steam Deck. Switch was the most popular console ever for a reason. I absolutely love when people try to act like popularity and quality are the exact same thing. I guess the greatest games every single year are FIFA, Madden, and Call of Duty despite the fact that they release broken every year. I guess things that are niche are just shit because they're niche and don't appeal to normies. This is literal NPC logic, dude. It's so sad how desperate people are to defend the Nintendo Switch 2. You know damn well if this were a company like EA or Ubisoft doing stuff like this, people would flip their shit. There would not be these many people making excuses. It's just because it's a company they personally like, it's all of a sudden okay. I think the reason for this is people actually enjoy Nintendo's games, unlike Ubisoft and EA, so that's why they cut them a lot of slack. Anyway, I don't really have anything else to say. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. If you didn't, you can leave a dislike and a mean comment, and yeah, I'm out.
I am not playing my Nintendo console because it simply isn't as good as my gaming PC.